volcanoes are there on Earth?
There are about 1,350 potentially active volcanoes worldwide. Volcanoes have roared to life around the globe, with every continent but Australia seeing an active eruption today. However, many erupting volcanoes are located just north and east of Australia. According to the US Geological Survey, there are about 1,350 potentially active volcanoes worldwide. Aside from the continuous belts of volcanoes on the ocean floor at spreading centers like the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, about 500 of the 1,500 erupting in historical times. Most of the volcanoes in the world are located around the Ring of Fire around the Pacific Rim. The Ring of Fire is a region around the rim of the Pacific Ocean where many volcanic eruptions and earthquakes occur. Caused by plate tectonics, lithospheric plates under and around the Pacific Ocean move, collide, and/or are destroyed, creating the seismic activity the Ring of Fire is famous for. While most volcanoes occur around the borders of moving plates, they can also occur in the middle of plates too. In Hawaii, a hot spot in the middle of the Pacific Plate allows magma to reach the surface in a weakness in the plate there. In East Africa, spreading and shifting of plates has created the modern-day Middle East there while also creating an area ripe with volcanic activity. While plate tectonics helped shear Saudi Arabia off of the African continent, creating the Red Sea in the process, the continental crust continues to stretch thin in this area. With the crust thinning there, magma below the surface is able to work its way through cracks and weaknesses in the thin crust, creating many volcanoes there.
Where is the most active volcano on the planet located?
Kilauea in Hawaii is the most active volcano on the planet. Kilauea, also called Mount Kilauea, the world's most active volcanic mass, located on the southeastern part of the island of Hawaii, Hawaii State. US Hawaii is the southernmost and largest of the island chain, which owes its existence to the very active Hawaiian hotspot. Kilauea Volcano, a youthful shield volcano, sitting on the southeast flank of the massive Mauna Loa shield volcano, is the youngest volcano of the Hawaiian hotspot and not only the most active volcano of Hawaii but at the same time also the world's active volcano. It has had an uninterrupted eruption since 1983. The central feature of Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, Kilauea, is an elongated dome built of lava eruptions from a central crater and from lines of craters extending along east and southwest rifts or fissures. Kilauea Volcano is near constantly erupting from vents either on its summit or on the rift zones. It has a large summit caldera with a central crater, Halemaumau, which is according to Hawaiian legends the home of the fire goddess Pele. Until 1924, it contained a lava lake.
Are there volcanoes elsewhere in our solar system besides Earth?
There are volcanoes all around our solar system, but only a few places besides Earth like some of the moons of Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune have active ones today. Venus and Mars are covered with extinct volcanoes. For years, most scientists figured that many moons are geologically dead. That means that they don't have things like earthquakes, newly forming mountains, or volcanoes. But it turns out, these scientists were dead wrong about Jupiter's moon Io. NASA's Voyager 1 spacecraft took the first close-up pictures of Io in 1979. The pictures showed a massive erupting from its surface into space. Io have volcanoes that are active. This was the first time an erupting volcano had been found anywhere besides Earth.
Where is the tallest volcano in the solar system?
The tallest volcano in the solar system is actually on Mars. It is called Olympus Mons. Found in the Tharsis Mantis region near the Martian equator, Olympus Mons is one of a dozen large volcanoes. The tallest of them all towers 16 miles above the surrounding plains and stretches across 374 miles, roughly the size of the state of Arizona. In comparison, Hawaii's Mauna Loa, the tallest volcano on Earth, rises 6.3 miles above the sea floor. The volume contained by Olympus Mons is about 100 times that of Mauna Loa. Olympus Mons is a shield volcano. Rather than violently spewing molten material, shield volcanoes are created by lava slowly flowing down their sides. Olympus Mons is still a relatively young volcano. Although it has taken billions of years to form, some regions of the mountain may be only a few million years old, relatively young in the lifetime of the solar system. As such, Olympus Mons may still be an active volcano with the potential to erupt.
What is the oldest and youngest volcano on Earth?
Mount Etna is the world's oldest volcano and Pericutine is the world's youngest volcano. Mount Etna in Italy is sometimes called the oldest active volcano because it has the longest historic record of eruptions. It has erupted 190 times in the last 3,500 years. This is a bit misleading, however, because it was already an old volcano when the first recorded eruption occurred in 1500 BC. We don't have historic records for volcanic eruptions before that. Mount Etna, also called Montebello, is one of the most monitored volcanoes in the world. Mexico is home to the world's youngest volcano. Pericutine, in Mexico, is a volcanic cone that erupted from a cornfield on the 20th of February 1943, and was volcanically active until 1952. Most of the activity occurred in the first year, during which the volcanic cone grew to a height of 336 m.
What kind of energy do volcanoes produce?
It's geothermal energy. This type of energy is where heat within the earth is used to generate electricity. Geothermal energy can be generated in areas where magma lies close to the surface. The presence of hot magmas below the surface of active volcanic regions offers the prospect of harnessing a huge amount of geothermal energy. Geothermal energy is a renewable resource, as it exploits the abundant Earth's interior heat and water, which once used and cooled, is then piped back to the reservoir. Having the use of this natural energy source has important implications for preserving the environment.
What is the relationship between volcanoes and geysers?
Both volcanoes and geysers depend on the strong heat source which is present underground. But they have completely different mechanisms. The mechanism of a geyser is based on the surface phenomenon. When the groundwater beneath the shallow surface gets heated up, the surface explodes, resulting in the boiling and steaming of the water. These surfaces get refilled again and the cycle continues. The difference between geysers and volcanoes is that geysers usually occur in volcanic regions while volcanoes don't have geysers around them.
What are volcanic rocks?
Volcanic rock is an igneous rock of volcanic origin. Volcanic rocks are usually fine-grained or aphanitic to glassy in texture. They often contain clasts of other rocks and phenocrysts. The volcanic rocks are named based on their chemical composition. The most common volcanic rock is basalt. The silica content in the basalt rock is very low. Rhyolite is a volcanic rock that has the highest silica content. Rhyolite has the same chemical composition as granite and basalt is compositionally equal to gabbro. Intermediate volcanic rocks include andesite, dacite, and latite. Volcanic rocks often have a vesicular texture, which is the result of voids left by volatiles escaping from the molten lava. Pumice is a rock, which is an example of explosive volcanic eruption. It is so vesicular that it floats in water. Pyroclastic rocks are the product of explosive volcanism. They are usually felsic. Examples of pyroclastic rocks are tuff and ignimbrite. Shallow intrusions, which possess structure similar to volcanic rather than plutonic rocks, are also considered to be volcanic.
Which animals live in volcanoes?
Volcanoes are one of the planet's most dangerous forces, but some incredible animals survive and thrive near one of the Earth's most powerful forces. Lesser flamingo. Oldonyolungai in Tanzania is one of Africa's most active volcanoes, and on its northern flank is Lake Natron. This is one of the world's most toxic bodies of water, yet is a gathering and breeding place for 2 million lesser flamingos. The water temperature of Lake Natron frequently rises above 40 degrees Celsius and is very alkaline due to the sodium carbonate and other minerals that flow into the lake from the surrounding hills. These conditions can burn skin, making it inhospitable for most plants, animals, and humans. The flamingo's tough skin and scales on their legs prevent burns, and they have a unique ability to drink water near boiling point, and to remove salt from water using their nasal cavity. With little competition for food, the flamingos have plenty of access to algae, their vital source of food found in volcanic water. Galapagos land iguanas. Fernandina Island is the most active and most pristine of the Galapagos volcanoes, and is home to some of the archipelago's most iconic and endangered species. Female land iguanas have taken advantage of the thermal heat coming off the volcano. Every year, nearly 2,000 of these lizards make the 10-day trek from the coast to the top of La Cumbre, from where they then descend the precipitous slopes to the crater floor. Once at the bottom, they lay their eggs in the soft, warm ash, which is the perfect temperature for incubation. Vampire ground finch. The volcanic island of Wolf in the Galapagos is hot and dry, and often there is limited food and water available to the species that live here. Finches have evolved a distinguished behavior and characteristic to survive, by turning into vampires. In order to supplement their diet of cactus nectar, pulp and the contents of bird eggs, the vampire finch also drinks blood. By adapting their technique of removing and eating parasites from booby sea birds that roost on the island, it uses its sharp beak to pierce the flesh so that blood is drawn. Drinking this means that the finch can consume all the nutrients needed to enrich its diet.
What are the benefits of volcanoes?
Volcanoes are renowned for their destructive power. But surprised to know that despite their destructive power, volcanoes actually come with their share of benefits. From enriching the soil to creating new landmasses, volcanoes are actually a productive force as well. Volcanic materials ultimately break down and weather to form some of the most fertile soils on Earth, cultivation of which has produced abundant food and fostered civilizations. The internal heat associated with young volcanic systems has been harnessed to produce geothermal energy. Most of the metallic minerals mined in the world, such as copper, gold, silver, lead, and zinc, are associated with magmas found deep within the roots of extinct volcanoes. Volcanoes also play a vital role in periodically cooling off the planet. When volcanic ash and compounds like sulfur dioxide are released into the atmosphere, it can reflect some of the sun's rays back into space, thereby reducing the amount of heat energy absorbed by the atmosphere. This process, known as global dimming, therefore has a cooling effect on the planet.